Welcome back to another video of Adventures Unleashed with me, Thrill Seeker Steve, and today I want to take you guys to historic Corona, California to show you guys and talk about the Corona road race history. The second auto race ever documented that I could find. I thought it was the first race ever, but looking into it after the years of me growing up and living in Corona and Riverside, it turns out it was the second race, but that's okay. Let me show you around and show you how it all started. So way back in the late 1800s, 1880s, I believe, R.B. Taylor and a group of other men decided, hey, let's build a town here in Corona, California. It's got great water areas. We were the citrus, you know, as well as Riverside, capital of the U.S., if you can believe that. Well, R.B. Taylor ended up hiring, I believe, H.C. Kellogg to design and lay out the streets of Corona, the heart of Corona. And he told Mr. Kellogg, I want it to be grand. I want it to be big. I want it to be circle. That was all the information, or I guess ideas, that he gave him. So he laid out a 1 mile circle around Corona and then ended up doing grids of neighborhoods all in the middle. Well, you know, leave it up to us men. Years down the road, in the early 1900s, cars were becoming a thing. You know, we're modifying them, making them fast, pulling off fenders so these things are lighter, putting cams on it, realizing these things could push out a little bit more horsepower. And hey, why not race these things around a 1 mile circle track in Corona, California? So they set out and they picked the date, September 9th, for the first automobile race for 3 classes. It was light cars, medium cars, and free-for-all. Now, before we dive deep into the history of this first or second automobile race in history, you know, when I started this YouTube channel, it was first on my radar. I was like, I gotta go cover and show everyone and walk around the racetrack here in Corona, California. I don't know if you've seen any other of my videos. I've done so much. I've done the Zodiac Killer. I've done the Riverside Prostitute Killer. I've done Hell's Gate 1 and 2 here in Corona. If you haven't seen any of those videos after this video, go back and check it out. There's so many videos out there, but this was #1 on my radar. I just wanted to get to it, you know, since we've been doing this for a while, and show you guys, and just it's just so awesome. I'm stoked to be here. So, you know, I'm not doing this for the views. I'm doing it because I want to do it. This is so cool. You know, I love cars. I love going fast. I'm into off-road, and this is right up my alley. Now, with an idea of an automobile race getting taken hold here in Corona, California, it was formed Corona Automobile Club Association. They're the ones that were going to lay out, get everyone involved, and hire the people to put on this race here in Corona, California. And it was also known as the American Auto Association, and they set a date for September 9th, 1913. And you know what? Today is August 8th, 2025. So we're coming up on the anniversary in exactly 1 month from now. If you're watching this video and it's September 9th, dude, leave me a comment. Let me know. Is that deja vu, or is that deja vu for me? What a trip, because that would be another anniversary for this awesome race. Now, with spectators, only had to pay 50 cents as a fee, and they got a ticket to be able to enter this race. Well, not enter, but go and watch it. And there was about 65 to 100,000 people that showed up to watch this race. It was a success. And, you know, you had drivers that would, you know, enter the race like Earl Cooper, Barney Oilfield, lots of big names, Terrible Teddy, you know, and this race was awesome. So the lights cars race was 37 laps, and the prize was $70. That was the purse. The second race combined mediums and free-for-all. So the medium was 91 laps, and the purse was $3,000, which is a lot of money for 1913. And then if you were the free-for-all guy and you were in a Mercer car, which was like the, you know, the sport car of that time, That pot was $5,250. That is a lot of money in 1913. Now this was split between 1 through 6th place. So the money was divided, but still, that is a lot of money. That is huge success for automobile racing, and it will eventually become a whole thing throughout the whole country. Now let's take a walk on the side of the track. Yes, it is a big circle and they're turning left, just like NASCAR does today. So we fast forward to 1914, the next year, the second annual race, the pot has changed. So it was a 300-mile free-for-all race, and the purse was $12,000. So it was a successful race as well. I mean, you had big names coming here: Eddie Poland, Eddie Rockenbecker. I mean, you name it. Returning Barney Oilfield. This race was awesome. Now, 19 people signed up to do this race, and only 7 actually finished due to blown tires, blown motors, whatever mishaps, you know, why they couldn't finish. Now the winner of this race was Eddie Poland. He finished at 3 hours, 26 minutes, and 2 seconds. And he set a new world record right here in Corona, California. His speed averaged 87 miles per hour. That is just a lot for a car at that time. Now 1915 rolled around, and they were gonna do the 3rd annual road race here in Corona, California. And unfortunately, during the springtime, because this was a dirt road, they had a really bad storm and it rutted out the roads, and they weren't able to fix it in time for the race. So they had to pre-schedule it for the following 2016. Now I just want to show you guys some of these beautiful houses right here on the track. Can you imagine sitting in your front lawn every year watching this race and inviting your friends or family over? I mean, some of these houses are just absolutely amazing. I just want to show you a few. And believe it or not, they actually, because it was a dirt road, they would oil it down to keep the dust down, and actually you know, was an advantage to the race car drivers because they had more traction, you know, on this 1 mile circle course. It would have just tripped me out to think that how cool that would have been to sit in your front lawn and watch this race every single year, you know, back in that time. But I just want to show you this house over here. There's this blue one that always catches my eye whenever I'm here in Corona and I'm happen to be on the circle. And like every time I'm on the circle, I'm just so pumped, like, oh, this is a racetrack. Did you know that? Like, you know, I tell people all the time, and a lot of people don't know. It's unfortunate. But you could see some of these houses, you know, they're really old and they're beautiful. It's like, I wish I could own one of these one day. Maybe, you know, I don't know how bad the plumbing is, all that, and all the keep up it would take to keep these houses, you know, looking as good. But I mean, you can see this one always gets my attention right here. This go in the front yard here, looks like there's a window open. It's pretty creepy, to be honest. But yeah, you could see this would be the grid. Maybe I'll show you guys a map of what it would look like, the way that Mr. Kellogg laid out the center of the circle. It's almost like Pasadena, where every house is different. It's got different engineers, or whatever you want to call them, the guys that, you know, draw up these houses. Look at this U.S. government SUV here. How strange. Let's get up to it. Number 121. U.S. government, the blue stripe. You guys can see, look at these houses, man. I love them. It's a beautiful Saturday walking around the track. I've always driven on it, never actually got out and, you know, took it in. But I want to show you this. This is also another cool house. Imagine putting Christmas lights on that. You could put your Christmas tree right there in the front. I mean, check this beauty out. Holy cow, it looks like a miniature White House. Right here. Front yard view of the race. I wonder if whoever was living there at the time was able to watch the race, or if they got pictures, you know, of the family out front. And I mean, that was history, man. It only happened 3 years. And now, 1916 rolled around for the final race. Unfortunately, this was not a good race for Corona. During the race, someone plowed into the crowd, killing 7 people, and not as many people showed up to the race. I mean, it was kind of a failure, and because of the injuries, they never did it again. So right now, I am at 3rd Street in West Grand. I believe this is the exact spot where the start and finish line was, and if you see those electricity poles up there, or the power lines, that's what stood out to me. There was dudes sitting up here to watch the race. That is just straight nuts, man. And I think right here, I don't know if I could zoom in, but there's some hills in the background, some mountains, and that is in the picture of the start and finish. To think, right here was the spot where they started the race for 3 years. That is just so awesome to me to be standing here. I'm just grateful. Now, if you want to come see it in person, I highly recommend to go to the Corona Heritage Park Museum off of Foothill. They have an exhibit there of a panoramic view and little plaques you can read. You know what? Let's go now. I'm going to show you guys. Let's go. So we have now made it to Corona Heritage Park and Museum, right here off of Foothill and Taylor. Let's go check it out. Right here in the museum, they have a replica start and finish banner, just like it was on the track, and they got this cool panoramic view of the race here, of the start. And you can see everyone's gathering around, which, like I was talking about, I think is just so wild that, you know, guys back then would climb all the way up these poles to watch the race. You don't see that no more. I mean, that just shows you that these guys, they were just nuts. Look at that. Wow, that stood out to me when I first, you know, was told about that there was a race here in Corona. And I just wanted to stop by and show you guys. You could come here right off of Foothill, look at more guys up here watching the race. Can you imagine? You would never get away with that today. That is just so cool. They even have a stained glass of each year race showing the cars. Looks like it's illuminated in the back there. They got some plaques you could come here and read. And look at admission for people that wanted to watch the race is only 50 cents. That's what the ticket looked like. Good old replica gas pump here just to help the ambiance. And as you can see, this is what they would wear when they were racing. Not like today, just have goggles, like a leather helmet, I think, and looks like some kind of respirator to not eat the dust so much. Some of the local drivers. There's the trophy. Wow, look at that. Flyers. More of a defined picture there of the panoramic I just showed you. And these are the guys that were responsible, that started the Corona Automobile Association. So if you do stop by here, they also have the Railroad Museum and Display in this building right here, which I think I should visit one day. I mean, look at that little railroad cart full of rocks. That's cool. Another day, another video. The train house is now open. Antique locomotives. They got some signs right here. Look at that. Corona Model Railroad Society. And then right next door is an art gallery, if you wanted to check that out too. I mean, you could spend all day here. There's also an antique store at the bottom, as well as others. It's a cool little place. Now another location here in Corona that always, I don't know, gave me a good feeling is it made me feel like I was camping in the woods. But right off of the road here, there was this forest fire ranger station where it had Smokey the Bear, and it would a sign out front that gave you the rate of, you know, today's forest preventions, which today is moderate. Sometimes you can see it in red, so it has different colors, and green, and it has Smokey the Bear up there. But this place, it just reminds me of like a cabin. It does say closed, but it has that woodsy cabin feel to it. Other little buildings and lodges. It's got like a little camping area. Let's go snoop a little bit. But like whenever I would drive by here, it just made me want to go camping. Let me show you guys. Just makes me feel like I'm at the woods. Little picnic bench. I mean, the color of the paint, the way they have it right next to the trees. Now, who could remember back in the 80s and the 90s, Smokey the Bear's slogan, "Only you could prevent forest fires"? Well, is it a Mandela effect? Because it has changed to "Only you could prevent wildfires." Are they trying to like trick me? What are you doing here? I get it, maybe things change, but I like "Only you could prevent forest fires." And another thing I wanted to show you guys while I'm here was the oldest clock. So when Corona established its town in 1887, it opened, well, the bank opened in 1887, and it had a town clock that hung off the side of the building. Well, that building once was bulldozed down, and it was moved right here in front of SGC Sushi. Now, I've seen it for many years within my whole life, and I was like, I want that clock. I don't know why, but I was attached to it. And now that looks like SGC is now made possibly out of business. I don't know. They always had blacked out windows, which creep me out. Makes me think they're out of business because the clock is gone. Do you see that? The hanger and the wires? Someone took it, and that wasn't fair because I almost wanted to go inside and ask the owners if I can purchase it somehow, because I don't know why I was attached to it. But yeah, that was Citizens Bank, 1887, had their clock hanging off the building so everyone knew what time it was, and it got moved right here off of Main Street. Where did it go? It's driving me nuts. If anyone knows, or hey, leave me a comment. I would love to know where that clock went. As you can see, Corona is always changing. Let's come down here. See, I don't know. This is all same place. The sushi. I didn't know it went this deep, but they always had their windows boarded up. It's just super strange. But I remember them being blacked out. Maybe they are out of business because looks like we got construction right over here. Looks like they're tearing down some more. Maybe it's part of this block unit, and SGC is forced to leave their building, as well as other companies maybe in the back. But that makes a lot of sense. My clock is gone, dude, and now you're taking down buildings. Where is this clock at? Is it gonna go to a museum? I hope so, because that's the town's first bank, and that clock is gone, and we got rubbish. Now there's something I really want to do. I want to line up the picture of the start and finish line of the race, and also take a lap in it in the Jeep and record it so you guys can see what it was like to take one lap here at the Corona Road Race. All right, here we go. We're lined up at the start line. We're gonna do one lap around Corona Road Race Circle, Grand Boulevard. Here we go, and we're off. we have done it in 8 minutes and 56 seconds. That's terrible. That's not fair. It's because there's lights nowadays.
If you ain't first, you're last. You know what I'm talking about?
But that was a lot of fun. Holy cow. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe. Hey, what should I do next? See you in that next video.